Once you find yourself in conflict with a narcissist, it's a virtual guarantee they're going to start playing head games with you. That's why I put together a new course. It's very extensive called Anger Games. I'm going to teach you how to manage anger and conflict with a narcissist. There's a link below that's going to show you how to register, and I hope that you find it to be very insightful. I'm going to begin today by asking you a question that's going to have a pretty obvious answer to it. And that is, the more you engage with that strongly narcissistic person, do you notice that that individual just has a lot of control issues? They want to control who you are. They want to control the opinions you have. They want to control your priorities, the plans you make, the interpretations you have about life, and how you manage procedures. Does that ever happen to you when you're engaging with that narcissist? And it's kind of like asking, well, do bees sting or do birds fly? I mean, it's obvious. It's built into their nature. It's part of what narcissism is all about. Now, I'd like to ask another question, and this is coming back to who you are, and that is, do you ever find yourself getting swept into what I would refer a counter control style of interaction with them? In other words, do you sometimes, unsuccessfully I might add, go in there and try to argue your point? Are you sometimes pleading and insistent with them about how they need to cut it out? Do you try to point out their illogic? Do you become stubborn? Do you become overly cautious and calculated in the way that you present yourself? Those would be your evidences of saying that you're now in a counterflow, control, counter control. And I want you to notice something. None of that works. It doesn't help you at all in building a good relationship. You're not satisfied from the inside out. And of course, the narcissist is going to remain dysregulated, as they are prone to be anyway. Now, I want to talk with you about a very odd way of you trying to find control when you're with that narcissist. And that's simply this. Admit that you can't control that person. I'm hoping that you can latch on to one major thought, and that is, I can't control you, so I won't. Now, that seems kind of like an odd way of trying to have control. I'm not going to control you, so I won't. But what we're going to say is we're going to admit some truth, and that is you cannot control that person's opinions. You can't control their beliefs about you. You can't control their poor reasoning. You cannot control their their lack of insight. You cannot control their pathological bent. You cannot control their emotional irregularities. And you can say, that's how I'm going to be in control, by saying, I can't control you, so I won't. And my answer is right. Because you see, what it does is recognizing that it takes you into a place of truth, but it also takes you into a whole different kind of dimension. By admitting that you can't control that person, it allows you to pull away and say, therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to claim my freedom. And I'm going to focus on who I am and what makes sense to me. And frankly, that's where you get your leverage. Narcissists don't know what to do with you when you decide that you're going to go your own way and you're going to be your own person. And I'm hoping that along the way you can figure out how to stand in your own calm assurance, and we're going to talk about that. So when we talk about you saying, I can't control you, therefore I won't, what we're going to do is we're going to ask, well, what does it mean then if you choose the free alternative? Well, what that says is, you get to decide your own plans and priorities. It also says you can stop defending yourself. Just be what you are. What's the point of defending yourself to someone that's not going to listen to you anyway? You can think and live in a way that makes sense to you, and then you can be proactive in your initiatives. You can individualize your efforts to find personal peace, and that's huge. What is it that you like to do that gives you a sense of contentment from the inside out? Now, here's a certain problem comes along. I'm going to be working a progression here with you, so stick with me. When you claim your freedom, the narcissist is going to start picking up on that, and they're going to begin invalidating you. So at that point, what do? Well, we're going to go back to our mantra. I can't control that, so I won't. But what we're going to do is you're going to say, well, I'm a free person. That individual doesn't like it. So I'm going to go even deeper into myself, and I'm going to begin defining what it means for me to have internal strength. I can't get it from the outside, so what does it mean to have internal strength? And it basically is a challenge for you to ask, well, what kind of traits do I want to have most predominant in my personality? Whether it's self-restraint or self-trust or calmness or basic civility or just claiming your inherent worth. And you want to learn how to like and appreciate yourself from the inside out, and you define who you are. Okay, so as you apply that internal strength, how's the narcissist going to reply to that? Well, what they're going to do is they're going to say, I don't think you have any internal strength. I don't like who you are. I don't like what you stand for. How are you going to respond to that? Well, we're going to go back to that phrase. I can't control that, so I won't. At that point, though, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, now I'm going to take my I'm going to take my sense of freedom, and I'm going to take my internal strength, and then I'm going to add to it assertiveness. You see, it's not enough for me to think correctly and to plan correctly. I'm going to turn my direction towards being a proactive person. I'm going to have healthy initiatives. That's your assertiveness. I'm going to stand up for myself when I believe that I have principles that I need to maintain. I'm going to have personal boundaries. Boundaries, by the way, is not designed to make them change. It's designed to make you change and stay consistent with what you think is wise and best. I'll establish consequences and stipulations where I need to. I'm going to have a sense of assertiveness. Well, the narcissist is going to pick up on that. So here you are trying to be assertive, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to say something to the effect of, this isn't right, you don't know what you're talking about, this is inappropriate. They're going to continue down their controlling path. How are you going to respond to that? Well, the answer is, I can't control that, so I won't. But what we're going to do is we're going to take your sense of freedom, we're going to take your internal strength, we're going to take your sense of assertiveness, and we're going to add one more ingredient, and that is the ingredient of resolve. Knowing full well that the narcissist is becoming more and more dysregulated when you become more and more of your own person, I'm hoping you can decide, well, we're going to take that self-trust that I'm talking about here and build an entire manner of life on that. I trust myself. I make sense. I like who I am. My values, my standards are good. And I just don't feel the need to alter and adjust that to satisfy that narcissistic person. Now, when that happens and your resolve becomes stronger and stronger, what's the narcissist going to do? Being narcissistic, they're going to act narcissistically toward you. They're going to say, this is no good. They can be angry. They can stonewall you. They can hold you in contempt. How are you going to handle that? And the answer is, I can't control that. Therefore, I won't. Do you see my theme that I have going on here? They so desperately want and need you to come into their control game. And the more you do, they have control over you and you don't. But what we're saying is, by you taking your freedom, your internal strength, your sense of assertiveness, and your resolve, what you're doing is you're taking yourself out of the cage that they're trying to keep you in, and you're going to say, I'm moving on. I'm not so beholden to you that I have to completely give up on me. And that's how you find control over the narcissist, because they don't know what to do with that. And you're not trying to control them. What you're doing is you're taking away their supply, and you're saying, well, I'm going to go in a different direction with that supply. I'm going to be me. Now, there may come a time where you're going to wave goodbye to that narcissist. I don't know what the circumstance is, but you're going to pull back and you'll decide, I just don't feel the need to be in the presence of someone who wants to play these kind of games with me. And they're going to complain and gripe and moan and groan and blame you for everything. How are you going to handle that? Okay, I want you to say it with me out loud. I can't control that, so I won't. Now, I'm hoping you can see that narcissists are the consummate game players. They won't be pleased with who you are, and you're not obliged to have to get inside of the pig pen, with the pig that just wants to wrestle with you, and you get mud in there happy. We're not going to do that because you see you can't control who they are. And in doing so, you're going to be true to who you are. By the way, what I'm describing today to you is what we call the power of paradox. And I hope this gives you some food for thought, and I'm hoping you can take some of the things that I'm talking about and apply it to where you are. I'm hoping that it has some great pertinence to you. The reason I do these videos is because we're survivors. We're trying to move forward, knowing that there are individuals who are going to try to pull us in the wrong direction. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. And we're going to keep more videos coming in your direction. I truly consider it an honor when you allow me to be on your path with you. Now, many of you, as you're trying to figure this out, could use some help. I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. It's a whole team of licensed professional therapists. There's a link below the video here that'll show you how to get to their website. It can be so helpful to have somebody talk to somebody, and they really are interested in knowing you from your perspective, and then they can work some things out, some insights and awarenesses, so that you can move forward with confidence. So as the need is there, please get the help that you could use. Also, me being retired as a therapist, I'm putting my energies into putting courses together. When I say courses, it's like an online class where each course has at least 25 or more videos, and each video has written documents that go along with it, guided questions. It's my way of trying to have a therapeutic intervention along with you. I have a brand new one that's called Anger Games. It's about how to manage anger and conflict with the narcissist, and I'm really pleased with that, so you might want to look into that, along with Ready, Set, Connect, This Is Me, Free to Be, This Is Me About Boundaries, Free to Be, and they're all on the website. And then in addition to that, on the website, we have access to my webinars, which are different. They're 90-minute presentations, along with my podcasts and articles, many things that I've written there, my books, lots of resources. Okay. The narcissist desperately wants you to play the control game. The way you win the control game is don't play the control game. That's the odd way of doing it. I can't control you, so I won't. And in doing so, you find yourself being in a position where you're more free and to be who you are and what you were meant to be. And that's kind of the point, isn't it? So as they are over there, floundering, wondering what to do with you, I'm hoping you can move forward in your healthy direction and initiative. And you know what? Waiting along the way, as you take more and more of this kind of mindset, is your capacity to be a person of peace. I hope that that's something that you can find and live into.